of Pennsylvania. It's about like 30 minutes from where we are now. We came today because Miss Jen asked us if we'd be able to like do a panel of just talking about college, how we got to where we got to where we're at now, what resources we used to get there, how college is like as minority students at a PWI, things like that. And then a very big part is where you guys come in and you guys, the engagement is you guys ask us things ideally. And then we just tell you how it is from our perspective. I know college seems a lot cute and marvelous from the outside looking in, but once you're in it, like the struggle really starts. And you just kind of have to find your way out, honestly. So we'll just start doing introductions. I'm Thalia. I'm a senior now. I'll graduate in May with a bachelor's in social work. And yeah, I don't got no minors. Your turn.
Me, okay. Hi, I'm just Madi, but y'all can call me Joe. I'm actually a sister from Florida State University. So, let's see. I have to make this. Okay. I am a junior, double majoring in social sciences and criminology, and a minor in psychology.
I'm Caitlin. I am double majoring in accounting and finance with minors in criminal justice and white-collar crimes. I'll be graduating in about a year and a half.
I'm Anna. I'm a senior, public health major, and a minor in geography and planning.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm a double business major and also double minor with Spanish and Latin American and Latino studies, and I graduate in a month.
Forgot diversity aspect. We'll just go ahead and say our ethnicities.
Dominican.
I'm Brazilian.
Puerto Rican.
I am Dominican Bolivian.
Spanish and German.
But yeah, so we had to do that. Do you guys want to go ahead and go?
I had the first question.
Oh, yes.
What is a PWI? Everybody might not know what a PWI is.
Predominantly white institute. Fun fact: Westchester became Westchester University in the older times. I think it was like 1800s. All right, she's gonna give me a year.
1871.
There you go. 1871, when it first started, it was honestly a school for educators. It was students that wanted to become educators. So it was mainly like the only major that they had way back when was like teaching, stuff like that of that nature. So now it's like a whole big thing. Westchester is one of 14 state colleges / universities, which means we get a lot of funding. I don't really know what that means to this day. If anyone does, please let me know. Yeah, and it's fairly cheap. Cheap is super subjective though too, just because it is a public institute.
Yeah, that's why it gets a lot of funding. All the state schools get money from the state of Pennsylvania. You can get.
I mean, the school is nice, and I know a lot of the like state schools like do look nice. So
For the education you get, it's relatively cheap. And there's a lot of scholarships.
It's about $10,000 a semester, give or take, depending on like how many classes you take, where you live, and all of that.
Any questions? Yeah.
So my sister goes to like a private, she goes to Widener, and she has mentioned that sometimes they change the tuition, like how much it costs. Does that happen with public institutions as well?
Yeah.
Like without telling you, or do they like let you know?
They send an email by the end of a semester saying that they plan to raise their funds, and they explain where the funds goes to. It's mainly like new building, parking, teaching, and then others. But they tell you like it's not that much. It's really not.
At
that
least
much.
for us, it's not. No, I don't know how Widener is. Widener is, I mean, the name within itself is like Widener. Yeah. So like, and then that right there is like cha-ching. Same with like UPenn. But honestly, like for us, from the 4 years that I've been there, it's increased, but it's never been like, wow, I need to like stop attending because they increased it 15 grand or something like that. It's nothing like that crazy.
And for me, I was between Temple and Westchester, and what made me choose was Westchester gave me more scholarship and funds and state funds. So for me, it was way cheaper to go to Westchester. Even though Temple was like my #1 school, but I went to Westchester. They gave me hella like scholarship and funds. As long as you don't forget to apply for FAFSA, you should be fine. Like her, she forgot to apply and
Midnight.
yeah.
Be on the computer, be ready to hit submit, like,
Because the state will give you
Who's a
funds.
senior? Anybody senior? Did you apply to the schools yet?
Yeah, I did my FAFSA like the first week of
Yeah.
October,
Good.
but I don't know, I think it's good, I don't know, because I keep like checking my status with like my applications, and they all have like green check marks, so now I'm just waiting on like my schools to send me like the financial like packages.
Cool.
Anyone else? Any more seniors?
What school I'm going to?
Or what school are you looking at? Whether it's community college, institute?
I don't know yet, because like my coaches have the list of the colleges that are looking at. I don't know yet.
How about you?
I did it. Yeah, I've got I think I'm going to Monaco or Drexel University.
Mago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Drexel's nice.
Yeah.
I applied to Drexel too. I got in Drexel, but the money wasn't.
Steering back to diversity, a reason I picked Westchester University, just they like have a big emphasis on diversity in regards to like the student population. Now, Westchester is a PWI through and through, and it's kind of shifted more to having more minorities, whether they be Black, foreign, like international students. We do bring a lot of them into the school, so that was a big reason why I chose Westchester. Personally, it could be a lot more diverse though. It's nothing like your high school. It's nothing like your school district. It's a lot vice versa. Which I know, like, I've like talked to like students, like I'm an intern here at the administration building. So I like have interacted with a lot of like kindergartners, middle schoolers, and then like you guys, not so much high schoolers, but I know a big thing from the things that I've heard about high schoolers was one, having undocumented parents, which is like the reality of things. And the second thing too was just the fact that like you're gonna go from from being in an environment that you're so used to seeing so many people that look just like you, speak the same language as you, whether it's 2, 3, or 4, like completely flipping to a college anywhere in the States that could predominantly be a PWI. If it's not an HBCU, it's definitely like you don't have a lot of historically Latino based institutes. Not one here in the States, like here in the States, which to me I think is pretty sad. But
Do y'all know what HBCU is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Wait,
historically,
Black College University.
college.
What are your names? Where are y'all from? Yeah.
Oh,
I'll start. I'm just saying I'm from Puerto Rico.
I'm falling from Mexico.
Oh wait, throw your grade in there too.
I'm a freshman.
Okay. All right.
I would kill with your question.
Your turn.
I'm Miranda and I come from here. And I'm a freshman.
I'm Eddie, and I was born here, and I'm a senior.
I'm Joan. I was born in California, and I'm a senior.
Yeah, I'm Christian, so I'm from Haiti. And then I'm speak French and Creole.
Okay.
I'm Miriam. My background is Mexican. I'm a junior. I'm Mexican and I'm a junior.
Do you guys have any more questions?
Could be anything, size,
Literally.
class, work, homework.
It doesn't have to be about
Is it-
Westchester.
is it
Life.
difficult-
Life.
Is it difficult to start up like clubs at like, I guess like Westchester or any university?
No.
Not Westchester.
There's so many clubs
yeah.
and
There's
orgs on campus. Like for
100 to
anything you
100
want to do, there's a club
There's
for
like
it.
Yeah. At
300.
Florida State there was 600.
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you manage your time?
You got your plan?
For me, I'm taking 9 classes. I work part-time.
How many
Plus
classes?
9.
This semester?
And high
Yeah.
school classes are not the
She's
same.
Nine
as,
credits
like,
or 9 classes?
9
9
classes.
classes. 3 credits each.
Huh?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
We here. Life.
Traditionally, students do
Yes.
start with 5.
5,
So
yeah.
the fact that she's doing 9, I'm
Well,
not-
freshman, you're gonna start with 4.
Yeah.
Because that school doesn't put you more than 4 classes than a freshman.
How are you able to do 9 classes?
I have my GPA is higher, so I can put more classes. Like if you have a GPA higher than 2.7, you can add any classes you want.
She did it so that next semester she can do her internship.
Yeah, because it's 600 hours internship. So health majors, so if you're gonna be in health, be over there. But yeah, managing time is hard. I don't have no social life at all. My friends, you're looking at them.
You managed to have a social life.
The work's pretty much like hard. You're gonna manage. As long as you like have a plan there, you'll be fine.
As long as your social life isn't your
discipline.
priority. Your priority is
Yes.
always gonna be school, like work, whatever you gotta do, and then social
Mine's
life. If you have
graduating.
time for social life, it's fun. College, but that's-
Don't slip.
Don't, yeah, because
Yeah.
it'd be hard catching up again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because the professor's not always like on you. It's up to you to do the homework. It's
So
up
yeah,
to you
if
to
you
do
don't do the
anything.
homework, if you don't have something,
Yeah,
they
If you
care.
don't show up to class,
Excuses aren't a thing either.
yeah, it's all on you.
So it's
The
just
great
like-
thing about college,
It's all-
yeah, the great thing about college is like, and this is what I told her before when we were walking in, it was just the fact that like, just walking into the high school, I was like, wow, I feel so like
Yeah, it's
constrained
like a-
already. I feel like someone's about to like regulate my every move. And like low key, that's how it is in any school. That's always how it's always been until you hit college. It's just like, well, I have a 10 o'clock class, but then I was up till 6 in the morning doing God knows what. So I think I'm gonna sleep in and not go to class. Like your professors, it's not that they don't care, but at the same time, like thinking about it, you pay to be in that class. So it'd be stupid to pay these thousands of dollars and not get your education. And
Or
there's
be on your phone.
Yeah.
And not paying attention.
like, and like here too, like you don't have you can't eat, you can't chew, you can't be on your phone, you can't do your laptop. Like you could take a
You
nap
can take a nap class.
in your class if you really wanted to, because at the end of the day, like you're paying to be in that class and you're paying for that professor to talk and breathe and speak. So it's just like she doesn't really care. Like some professors like really do genuinely care about all of their students. Other classes, you're gonna be in a class that's 260 students.
Yeah.
You think the professor's gonna take the time to be like, oh well, Melody, I don't know, like nice to meet you.
No, one student out of 300, like they're not gonna call you out.
Yeah, and a really big thing too, and this goes to all minorities. I don't know what it is. People like don't want to ask for help, and that is like the biggest lesson I think I'm thankful that I learned in high school that took me to college. It's just like, if you don't get anything in the professor's class, they're not going to stop for you to understand. You have to go about your way to like reach out to that professor, hit them up, email them, go to office hours. Girl, I was living, sitting in front of the table, like of the door until my professor came into his office.
You know what office hours are?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the time that your professor's available, but still on
Sometimes
campus.
that can make or break your grade if you get if you're on the edge of getting like a higher grade. If they know that you're trying, they'll bump your grade up.
Yeah.
You said no?
Build those relationships like you
Who said
said.
no? They don't know.
Oh, they just want me.
Oh, office hours, yeah. It's like homeroom time, kind of. I guess.
So like extra.
Like when your
Yeah,
teacher's
they're
like
required
chilling
to have
here.
a certain amount of hours
Yeah.
in their office in case students like have questions or something.
Okay.
And I
It's
had a class
one-on-one,
that was
yeah.
like so hard. It was calculus, and I just wasn't getting the material. So I would go to my professor's office hours, which were at 6:30 in the morning. But I still managed to go like every other week because I needed to pass that class. And having that one-on-one time with my professor, it really helped. And it showed the professor that I'm willing to go the extra mile and wake up at 5:30 just to go to his office.
It's a question for you. How difficult would you say that the health major is?
What track you're going to?
Well, I was honestly planning on going into biology, and then from there going into going to dentistry.
Okay, so biology, the hardest class you're gonna have, honestly, as a freshman, will be Bio 101 or Bio 110. It's 300 students in the auditorium. The professor literally stands up on the slides and going PowerPoint, talk, PowerPoint, talk. Yeah, and then you're gonna have to buy a book, it's like $300, so you can have your online access, because that would be your homework. So studying is on you. Because I'm gonna help you.
Two parts. You usually have a lab with that as well.
And there's a lab. The lab is easy because the professor's it's like 10 students. The lab is very easy. But
You scared him, bro.
I'm being honest. I'm being honest.
The $300 books,
You say that the books for people who are like in the sciences are the most expensive.
It's the most expensive ones, honestly.
Because my business
More
was
math.
300.
Yo,
Business
yeah.
books are expensive.
Math.
Business
math.
books are
But
so
But if you're going to
expensive.
almost med school, then you should be aware of how expensive the books are. But there's websites that you can
Check.
rent.
Check. Gotcha.
I rent all my books.
Write it down.
If
From
you
Amazon.
Check.
Amazon rental.
try slug
Write
books.
the books.
Because if you type in on slug books, like the name of the title of the book, and the professor writes in the syllabus the name, like the IBN number, all this information that you need, you can just easily type that into slug books, and it gives you a list of different websites and how much they are on different websites. You can find it so cheap on there. I found a book for $8 on there.
Yeah.
I was like, bye.
Don't go to the
That's
bookstore.
not-
Every professor
Yeah.
tells you to go to the bookstore.
Yes.
Don't go.
You could finesse
No.
college.
You can, yeah.
You don't
Not
have to
unless
pay
it's
$300
like
for it.
specific, like my one professor
Yeah.
only it's a book by him and you have to buy it at the bookstore.
Yeah.
That's the only book that I bought that was kind of expensive. But like you can literally, some books, if you really do the research online, you can find for free as a PDF file.
But honestly, I love my major, even though like I stay up nights studying chemistry, bio, and anatomy. I love my major. So not everybody gonna go for the health major. But as long as you stay on your track, you should be fine.
And do what you love, like do what you
Yeah, do
have
what-
passion
yeah.
for. Don't do something that like your parents are trying to push you to do. Because
Facts.
if you don't do something that you
Facts.
love and that you understand,
You're going
You're not gonna
fit long.
study.
yeah,
Gotta
yeah.
catch F's and L's. Best visual.
Going back on the thing about renting the book, because I know a lot of people rent books now. If a student is planning on going to graduate school, the graduate school is like
I mean,
after
I'm
your
there
bachelor's
next
degree,
month.
do you recommend that they keep those books, or buy books and keep them, or do they not?
Bro,
You
grad
could sell
school.
them.
It depends what grad school you go. Some grad school, if you go to different grad schools, not gonna be the same books. If you go to, like if you stay in Westchester, you go to Westchester grad school, you may see same professors. But honestly, no. Because I'm going to grad school and my professor told me all the books they have in grad school is not gonna be the same. So I just read my books.
And there's places all around, like towards the end of the semester, like trucks that you can sell other books at. You can sell them online. You can sell them to the bookstore. A lot of people buy it. It might not be as much as that you bought it for, but it's a little something to get back.
I don't know. Personally, I feel like if you are fortunate enough to have either the money or the funds, like whether it was given to you or not, to keep your books, the only books I would suggest keeping are the ones that pertain to your major. They don't pertain to your major. If it's just a weird Italian class that you took just for 3 credits, and you bought a book, like just give it back, or don't even buy it, just rent it. Grad school, I mean, I don't plan on going to grad school right after I graduate, but the idea for me, if I were to have to buy books for grad, I definitely would keep them. For me, it makes, like, I'm a social work major, so for me, it's a lot less, like, there's so many things that I just have to, like, internalize when it comes to, like, dealing with people that, like, I feel like if I purchased a book to give it away as soon as I finish with it, like, I'm not gonna, like, and if I need to go back to it, I'm screwed, because I can't really Google, like, stuff like assessing people one-on-one. There's books and literature for it. So personally, I think for my major, I'd keep them. Did you have a question? You definitely had a question. I'm waiting on my question.
Oh, I was gonna ask, what's your major? I didn't hear you.
Public health.
Oh.
I was environmental health, I switched.
And what grad school you go to?
I'm looking at Temple, Drexel, and UPenn.
Oh. What about her?
How about you?
I'm going to Westchester again for grad school, just because it was like the cheapest in the area, and it's really good. So I'm starting it up again.
What in business do you like? Because I was honestly stuck between like dentistry and like finance. They're like very different.
So back to what she said, follow your heart and do something that you love to do, because I do not like business at all, and I'm screwed because I'm done basically. So I'm just getting my degree to get it. But there is good in business because it's so like versatile. You could do so many things like within it. And also what I appreciated about Westchester is like business is like an umbrella term for so many other things. So I have taken classes in like finance, international business, accounting, management, marketing. So I have a little bit of everything that no matter where I go into, I have some type of knowledge in it. But if I could start all over, I would definitely do education just because I could see myself doing that more, but it's too late. Not too late, but I don't want to start all over.
Yeah,
Don't be finance too, right?
I am. I'm majoring in finance and I'm also majoring in accounting. So those, I'm double majoring in them. They go hand in hand with each other. So most of the requirements, at least for Westchester, for accounting, you have to take some finance classes, and for finance, you have to take some accounting classes. So versus taking just accounting for me and taking just finance, I'd only have to take 5 classes more in order to get a double major for it because I went for accounting. So I only have, but for a double major, you have to have 150 credit hours because in order to take the CPA exam, which is the Certified Public Accountant exam, and that's if you want to work for like the state and like accounting firms and stuff like that. In order to work for accounting, you pretty much have to take that. Finance isn't that bad, but if you're going to take a business class, you really got to pay attention because you learn formulas, you learn all of this. It's kind of hard sometimes it's a breeze. It's not too bad though. It's interesting, at least to me, but I also am minoring in criminal justice classes, so
Pick up a
both of them
minor
are
in
interested
either
me, so
one.
I mix them together. So I'm doing more of like business law type stuff, or forensic accounting, which is looking for fraud and stuff like that. So I would really look into both for whatever schools you're looking into and see what programs are best, because some schools are better for business, like Westchester, and some are better for like sciences and like dentistry. I think Kutztown has a good like dentist program. I know a friend that went there. But if you're definitely going for business, I would look into Westchester.
Or pick up a minor in whichever one you don't choose. Because at the end of the day, having a minor in at least business is good, because if science doesn't work out for you, you could always get a job and do something in business for
Another piece of advice I'd do for any major, other than being in love with it, is not to choose a major because of money that you may take when you do graduate. I say this because I'm going for the lowest paying profession, but the most important, so it's kind of a big contradiction. Social workers don't make jack-ish, like at all. And to me, it blows my mind that like somebody could be just choosing a major to just get $60,000 when I'm about to graduate and I'd be making 35, which is a significant, huge difference. So that's another thing too, is definitely don't choose a major because you Googled it and it said it's about to give you $100K when you graduate, because that's not really gonna happen. So that's definitely a big one. I know a lot of my friends that went, that I graduated with, went to like different like schools and stuff like that, ended up dropping out. And to me, it's just like, you're dropping out because you got into nursing, but you don't do anything with science, you hate science. But you like the idea of like giving people like needles and vaccines and being there for them, which is great and phenomenal and super needed, but at the same time, like, definitely don't pick a major that or don't even think of a profession that you think you're not gonna be passionate about.
But if you aren't sure, it's definitely okay to go in undecided.
Undecided, yes.
My sister went in undecided, thinking many different things, like maybe politics, music, writing, like completely different things. She went into Westchester, not knowing what she wanted to do. She's leaving Westchester now, going to University of Pennsylvania, or Penn State University, and she decided on political science and Asian studies. So her experience, just like getting to know people, talking to her advisor, like just taking like first year experience classes, because you have to take those if you go in undecided. It helps you learn and get a little taste of everything to see what you would, well, like what would best suit you. And that's like political science and Asian studies best fit my sister, so she's going somewhere that like would provide her with all of the best tools for that.
What, based off of what you just said, what advice do you guys have for them as far as being undecided, or you know what you want to do and you have to transfer to another school? Do you have any experiences from your friends you can draw on?
Well, I'll go to the first part of the question. Like going in undecided, there is a negative stigma behind it. I think it's stupid, just because ideally you finish high school and you get into college, you can do like the traditional stuff. You're what, you're 18, 19 years old. To then think about, okay, like I'm gonna do this major for the next 4 years and then do it for the rest of my life until, I don't know, until I'm either dead or I move on to something else. So for me, definitely, like, I encourage people 100%, whether, like, if the reason that you don't attend college is because you don't know what to do, like, you just need to go do it. Like, you need to go and, like, get those classes, for example, like her sister did, to get, like, a taste of everything that you might potentially like. When it comes to transferring, I think you catching L's left and right. I don't want
something you lose, so
yeah, transferring, I don't think it's ever worth it. Go ahead, transfer queen.
Okay, I didn't exactly transfer. So like I said, I'm a student at Florida State, but I am actually taking my classes online. So I'm a full-time student, and I work full-time as well, but I'm still active through my organization, through the Pi chapter at Westchester University. But I wanted to use myself as an example, just because, like, being a minority, like, life is hard. Like, there's no, I know y'all, or it's perceived that you're supposed to graduate in 4 years, and some people do. Some people graduate in less than 4 years. But when it comes to my case, I've had, like, so much pop up that I'm actually gonna be graduating in 5. And I'm one of those students that started off like, I started off with a major. I started off with psychology, And then I was like, no, wait, English. And then I was exploratory, which is undecided, for a little bit. And then I finally ended up with my double majors in criminology and social sciences, which are like mad different. But basically, like, it took me to go through all of that. Even though it's taking me a little bit longer to graduate, it took me to go through all of that to realize what I wanted to do. Feel me?
Yeah.
So if that happens to you, like, don't be so hard on yourself, because I was hard on myself for some time, because I see, like, all my friends that I started with graduating already, and I'm just like, I have to tell myself, no, just money, like, that's their timeline, like, this is your life, it's how, like, you were, you know, it was planned out, this is your track. So just embrace your experience, don't be so hard on yourself if that's the case. If you don't know, like, it can be scary, but just like what Laura said, like, follow your heart, okay? Got it? Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Okay.
Now, you said you're graduating in 5 years, basically. Does that affect your FAFSA in any way? Or any scholarships you may have received?
So, let's see.
Good question.
My specific FAFSA hasn't been affected, no. Like, I know, there's like a certain limit when it comes to like student loans and stuff. Don't blow your money. Like, y'all gonna get these FAFSA refunds and gonna think that you like are rich.
I went to Puerto Rico on my first spring break.
Don't do it. If you don't gotta take out the loans, don't do it. Like, you do have to pay it back. But nah, if you manage it wisely, if you manage your money wisely, then you can, you know, push it a little bit.
The only thing that may affect is if you get a grant, a state grant, and then you need to like read your grant, because it may say like 4 years, 3 years. So as long as you look, like read while you're signing up, you should be fine. Because some people just accept money and they don't read like the rules and expectations. So read everything before
Interest
signing.
accumulates.
Yeah, read. I'm like serious, just read. Make sure you read everything.
There's a calculator too.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
Also, transferring is a process. You have to go to the registrar's office, which is like re-register for classes and stuff like that. You have to get an official transcript. You have to get accepted to the other school. You have to pay for the application, fill out the application. There's a whole bunch of things you have to do for it, but in the long run, it's worth it if you know that's where you want to go. I wouldn't transfer unless you're 100% sure, because it's a long process, and to keep transferring is just elongating it, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I would just think about it too.
Can you guys go into more detail about transferring, like what makes it so difficult, or kind of when you said long process or credits and financial aid, scholarships?
So when I studied in Brazil, I didn't take into account that one of the classes I took, it wouldn't match up with the one that I wanted at Westchester. So, I mean, one of my classes did, my Portuguese class, but then when I came back to Westchester, the registrar's office was like, well, you never approved this class that you took in this other country, or in this other university, and have it like be equivalent to the course here. So I basically wasted my money in taking another class somewhere else. So that's why she was saying, like, going to the registrar's office and really making sure that the classes that you're transferring match up with the ones at Westchester or wherever you go is super important, because if not, you just wasted your money on a whole course.
And you have to elongate how long you stay at the university. That could be an extra semester or two. My sister she's mastering her classes right now. So she has to go through this long process. It's taken her like almost a whole semester to do that. So when you know for a fact, you need to start pretty much right away. Because I took some classes at Hack University, which is the Harrisburg Area Community College, because I'm from Harrisburg. And I had to go through the school first, make sure that the class matched up, because the names of the classes could be totally different, but be the same class. So I had to make sure they match up, get approved from both of the schools, get the my transcript sent to the other university, and once I finished that class, I had to transfer it back to the other university. So it's like a long process, but it's worth it though.
The only thing that you cannot transfer if you are part of a sport team, because one of my friends, he plays soccer, he wants to transfer to, I think UPenn or Penn State. He couldn't because he signed up a contract to play soccer for 4 years. So if you're going to like any like officially like sport, just be careful like transfer-wise, make sure that school's for you.
And going off what Caitlin said, please don't sleep on community colleges ever, because that is probably, yes, it's a boring place to take classes at. It's dirt cheap compared to any university or institution that you could go to. and so long, and like Laura kept saying, like you have to check the transfer, what transferred to what, to this, that, and the third. I had no idea what that meant until just last year, and I was in college for 3 years. Basically, all you do is go to the university's website, both schools that you want to go to. So I went to Hack as well, which was in Lancaster. She went to one in Harrisburg, and just double check with your university that if you took Bio 110 in Hack, which what I took, that transferred over to Bio 101 at Westchester. Because that way, if you verify that from the jump, you're not gonna waste a dime. You're gonna get all the credits that you need, like, and you're gonna be a happy person. I took my classes too, and anytime you feel like you're behind, like I was, because in the beginning of my college career, I didn't think I could take on 5 classes, so every semester I took only 4 at a time. Now I'm like trying to catch up, and I've been taking classes summer and winter breaks. So I think too, like if you ever feel like, oh, well, I need to get this, I need to finish my university and be with my friends or be with whatever, or just, I don't know, like follow my parents' footsteps in finishing in 4 years, like yes. And then along with the undecided like majors, there is a negative stigma if you don't finish between the 4-year gap. Again, stupid when you're actually in college and then you have like life hit you, and then it's like, wow, I can't really finish in 4 years. And then you do always have that option to do classes in the winter, take 1 or 2, and then at the same time in the summer as well. And it will be cheaper doing it at a community college.
Or even just starting at a community college first.
And then transferring
That's
over.
completely
Yeah.
fine.
My little cousin's doing
So
that.
you can do all your gen eds at community college, and then focus on your major. Other two.
Miss Mitchell.
When you guys, if you have to go to school in the summertime or in the winter, how does that work with your financial aid?
For me, I went to class on winter and summer. I just applied again for my finance aid, and they gave me money to do the class.
Do you have to
They-
be full-time?
Like,
No, you didn't
why
full-time.
you get less money?
No. I didn't got less money. I just got the money for the class that I picked. Cause each class, I think it's like 3. How much each class?
Like 3 credits usually.
Yeah, so 3 credits. So they gave me the money for just the class that I wanted to do. So it's not hard to get money wise. Like Westchester, they're like very giving when it comes to money. If you have like money issue or finance aid, they're very aware if you speak up.
So when you're talking about people being, is it the school or is it the state?
The
I know
school. I
sometimes
asked,
the students have problem with FAFSA or getting money from FIA for summer school. When you say that the school.
I applied
they
for the
give-
school, yeah, because I didn't trust the state that much since they don't have that much money. So I went to the school personally and I asked, there's like finance office that you can go and talk to a person. That's what I did. And she helped me a lot. There's counselors.
We also did a class in the winter in Mexico,
Yeah.
and we got scholarships for it.
Yeah, they paid for my whole trip for the study abroad.
I studied abroad, I didn't get the scholarship.
Yeah.
I didn't get accepted, so when you,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Would you talk to us a little bit more about the study abroad?
Oh.
What made you decide that and how important it was to you?
Yeah. She'll go last. She's the study abroad queen. I studied abroad for my spring break. Well, it was a study abroad trip. I didn't study abroad. I actually went for volunteering. It was rehabilitating a home that was out there. That was tragic. It was a mother of like 6 kids, had like 4 dogs in Peru. I flew out to Lima, Peru, and that was where I flew out to. But I spent a week, in like the campo, like to its entirety, no running water, no electricity, there was nothing. So I stayed out there for a week, and I did it through my school, so it was 14 students and like 2 faculties from the university, which was all great, and you like pay everything all up front, and it was I think I spent like $1,500. I didn't get the grant though, and I feel like everyone else in my group did. I don't know why I didn't get the grant. I hate grants. I hate applying to scholarships with a passion, and it's so bad because ideally it is free money for you to get, but I've never had good experience. And then doing my class this past summer at HAC, I just paid out of pocket, which wasn't too bad.
I studied abroad, yes. Me and her, we went to Mexico for 2 weeks. We first went to like a campo. Cuernavaca. No, that was that was Cuernavaca, so that was a big city, but then we used to go to Campo, Exclictio, farms. I got the whole grant. I applied for 2 scholarships. The process were long, essays, everything. I got the full ride, so they paid $3,000. How much was it?
Yeah, the whole thing probably was probably like $3,000.
$3,000. I didn't pay anything out of my money.
You don't have to pay for the flight?
No, they
With
reimbursed me.
scholarships.
Yeah.
I
It was a
really
great.
enjoyed it. Wow.
I didn't pay for anything. It was a great experience overall. I love Mexico.
Don't touch both of y'all,
So
'cause
for
y'all
me-
got money that.
I love to apply.
Not no more, not no more.
Y'all
attract money.
Right there, okay.
Because for me, like, I don't have money to like spend stuff like that, so like I hunt for any scholarship, any grade that I can get.
You
but it
have
was-
to be money hungry though.
Oh, me?
Like to get to like be.
Oh, yeah, you need to
like,
go
they,
after.
They apply to scholarships every other month.
yeah.
Well, I guess so, if she's taking 9 classes.
Well, yeah, yeah, and like for going back to like that diversity thing with Westchester and like emphasizing diversity. So like recently they started doing like this. What is it like?
It's
Just an
Ram
emphasis.
Global, no, Westchester.
But it's like
Global.
a specific emphasis for people. I think it's like to make the school look good. I don't know, but it's like Westchester's trying OD hard to get people of color to apply for these scholarships, to apply
Oh,
to
the
study.
Global Rams Initiative.
Yes.
I got that scholarship.
I got that scholarship.
Well, when you're less fortunate than I, don't get that
She's
scholarship.
really want to fight you right there.
No, it's a scholarship specifically for students that
Yeah.
look like us,
It's
just to go
specific-
study abroad.
And
Yeah.
then I applied for one that was Central America and South America. It was like 2K. I got that because I'm Latina, so I got it. Yeah.
All right.
If you speak more than one language, there's scholarship for
There's
that.
scholarships for
I got
that.
that scholarship.
And
you
representing
left-handed-
Westchester.
If you left-handed.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right.
That's scholarship for everything. Everything.
There's scholarships out there, you just gotta put in the work.
It's a
You
McDonald's
have to write up the
There's a McDonald's
essays.
scholarship, yeah.
A McDonald's scholarship.
Is that the principal?
No, he's one of the new principals here. Not the principal.
Oh, alright.
But if you can't
Is he
do
still
study
out?
abroad,
Why
study
you wanna
abroad.
come back?
Oh.
Where's the camera? Or now we can talk about the real turn-ups. At Westchester, you vote. No, I'm just kidding.
Any questions?
This is supposed to be a real conversation.
So, if you don't know what you want to study, can you go in a community college and then
Undecided,
Oh,
yeah.
and
yes.
then go to like a university or something?
Or you could even go to the university undecided.
Most people do that.
It's
They go
just-
to community college.
What scholarships have you guys got when you first entered into the college?
Oh my gosh.
I was lucky to receive the, what's it called, Board of Governors?
Board of Governors.
I got the Board of Governors, which covers tuition for 4 years, so I don't
You
pay
can't apply.
tuition. I was very lucky. But that's only for first year students. But if you don't get it as a first year student, you could apply your second year. But, I mean, if
She
you
did
apply
it
to
too.
Westchester, you should do it.
And it's like different programs for different types. So if you go to community college, you would take just gen ed classes. That would be like public speaking, like English 100, English 200, stuff like that, like very basic of basic. If you go to Westchester, you take those in addition to a first year class. You have to take that like 3 days a week. And that you have like a group of like professors, so you have like 5 different ones. And you do like little field trips around campus and you like learn about the different majors that they have. So like my sister, she had to do that. She went in undecided for Westchester. She went on like a little field trip to like our South campus, and that's where most of the science classes are. So you would learn like about biology, genetics, and then there's like go up north and you can learn about like the business classes and English classes. So you get a little taste of everything, and that's like I would prefer that honestly personally, because then you get a taste of everything and it helps you decide. Whereas if you go to a community college, you don't really get to experience anything except for like the gen eds, but you do save a lot of money going to community college first and then transferring.
Well, I'm still fed because, so has anybody like gone to your guidance counselors to like ask for like college-y help? She's not here. Like, have you ever like had like that talk with like, yeah, hey, like I'm looking at this, what do you think I should do? Like, or the FAFSA or like whatever applications, like scholarships, wavering stuff. Did you ever? Okay, cool. So my freshies, before you finish and apply, like ask your guidance counselor, things like that. For those that are late, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. A great thing, and I emphasize this because, like a dumbass, in my FAFSA, I did it incorrectly, and under my student income, which I meant to put under my father's income, I put my father's income as my income. So my freshman year, I didn't get financial aid, which means I cut a big L. My whole freshman, I had to get loans, and I was so forced to because I didn't ask for help, and that's what I'm saying. Like I had to learn the whole asking for help in high school, like the tough way, and
We're seniors.
And not to stress you guys about money, but like when she says loans, it's like, all right, the government, let's say the government gives you $10,000. Okay, you don't see that money until you graduate, but by the time you graduate, that money is gonna be probably $15,000 just because of the interest that accumulates. So get literally like as little loans as you can as possible, because at the end of the day, when you graduate in 4 years, then Sally Mae's gonna be knocking on your door like, hey, you gotta give me $500 every month. And fresh out of college, are you really gonna have like a decent job to really pay that? Hopefully you do.
There's different plans for different places you go.
Yeah.
I have Sally Mae, and I also had Members First for a while. So Members First, you can apply and pay like $20 a month, give or take, and that's reasonable, and it still like gets money down off of it before you graduate, and it's not that much. It's like $20 a month. So that's like 3 cheeseburgers if you go out, or like one meal. I don't know.
Is that your college name?
I have a question. What is your funniest college story
Oh, good lord.
that you can tell?
You want to go outside? I'm kidding.
You had a real conversation, right?
So I actually just recently went through this video. So like freshman year. Hey, this is Samara, y'all. Hi. So recently I was just going through like my videos and stuff like that. Maybe I'll show you guys later. But so like, you know, like I was saying, like you're confined, constrained here in high school, both at your house, at school. So it's like all day, every day until you're like with your friends and you can do what you want, low key. So my freshman year, I personally had like, I was raised being like just from my single dad, like my dad who was a single father, like kind of like more like lenient. So like for me, like I kind of already had like that adultness in me. So I wasn't super eager to like go to the parties and go to the frat houses and do this, that, and the third. But my friends were, because they were the more traditional, like, oh my god, I want to do everything. So I did go to this college party, and I went. There's like this street that's like known for all the parties. It's all like white kids though, so it wasn't my scene.
No,
You don't get no bachata, no salsa. You don't get none of that, none of it. You get like Tyler.
You get the jump.
You get the-
Yeah, you get like electro. Anyway, so I was like out there, and like consumption of alcohol is a thing. My only thing for that is if you're not 21, don't drink outside in public. If you are, then get loose. So like for me, I like went, and towards the end of the night, it like got super like hectic with like people's stupidity. That this white guy said he was super, like he was just like a super, like he was like, I'm super, but like in my head I was just like, super what, man, woman, like what? So he got on the roof and he jumped onto a table, and he smashed. Like glass went everywhere, like smacked people in the face, hit the windows, and like all you hear is everyone at the end cheering for him because he said he was super and did something super.
Oh my God.
So that is by far, yeah. And I was shook. Like when I first saw that, I was like, wow, like, and like that's the thing for me too. It's just like I've never witnessed such stupidity in my life, but yeah.
Someone with a college education.
Yeah, like and it's the thing too, it's just like we're in college, so like at the end of the day, like you have to always keep in mind like you're there for one reason. Yes, you may find the love of your life or your best group of friends or the career you want as soon as you graduate, whatever case may be you get in college. Just try not to do anything super stupid. But that is not the funniest thing. That is probably the stupidest thing I've ever seen just because I saw the video last night with her.
Anybody else?
Y'all next, because I'm trying to.
I don't have any stories.
You're boring. Okay, so I
know we're being recorded.
I forgot. So these two, when they went, I'll do it for you. They went to Mexico. They studied abroad in Mexico, and it was like a group of like all students and one professor. And I think this is the coolest thing ever. They got to get lit with their professor.
Yeah, we took the
Because in
shots.
Mexico,
Like,
they could
lit,
drink at 18.
Like lit.
So our professor took us out.
Like they saw their professor acting up to then teach them the next morning, talking about this.
We're all in class like. I don't have any other good stories.
I think my funniest one is I was in a dorm. So you have dorms. I stay in Goshen, which is like the ghetto's dorm. You can be ghetto. Like it's all colored people in one building. So it was lit. I enjoy it.
Well, Westchester's still type racist.
Yeah, it is type
So like
racist.
where the minorities live,
Yeah.
whether you live down south, they call it the projects, and if you
I
live
live
like
there, too.
in the dorms too, that's like
The ghetto. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, one guy, we had like, what do you call it, the windows for the mosquitoes?
A net.
A net. We had the net, and
A
he
screen.
punched the screen. He punched the screen out. He fell, and then he started throwing trash over the window.
This is like an 8
It's an
8-story building.
yes, yes. And then when the police came, they found like bottles of alcohol, so he got arrested. So that's like my one.
Ooh, I
I was a freshman too. I was a freshman, so I was like, boom.
So one time when I was living in the dorms too, my friends were like very hype. And at Westchester dorms, after like, what is it, 8 o'clock?
After 8:30.
After 8 o'clock, you have to sign in, and there's usually a police officer downstairs. You have to like sign in and show your ID before you go upstairs. And the whole purpose is like protection. And also sometimes they do bag checks, because sometimes there could be like parties in the weekend and they don't want people bringing alcohol. So one night they was doing bag checks, but my friends, they wanted to have a party in the dorms, and obviously they're gonna check the bags through the front. So we had to like, well, not we,
They put in
they.
their pants?
No. They had to come up with a new plan. So my friend went upstairs, like he didn't have anything. He went to his room, he opened his window, and then like they threw like a rope or something down. And then his friends went outside and tied the rope to the, like a duffel bag. No, duffel bag full of alcohol. And brought it up. I was like, it was never that serious.
I've never heard that.
What?
That's
They do it all the time now.
But who is it?
Ron and Jordan.
Oh, of course.
I got 2 of them.
But now we're 21. So
Please
now-
don't do that.
No. If you get caught, you.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I'm telling you, if you get caught with alcohol at
No,
college,
Westchester's
like it's
supposed
not,
to be a dry campus.
It is a dry campus.
it's the wettest
It
dry
is.
campus. That's what they tell you.
They even tell you during orientation it's the wettest dry campus to your parents sitting right next to you. So
But it's not worth it
like,
because like if you get caught, like
You get-
you fines, court dates. Like
Let me
I
get
had
my
so
card.
many friends get in trouble with marijuana and alcohol that is not worth it.
It can add up
It's
to a
not worth
summary,
it at
which
all.
is the lowest offense, which is right below like a misdemeanor. Yeah. So it's like a record technically, but it's like the lowest record, but you still don't want to have anything. It can affect anything.
Scholarships,
in
it
the future.
affects scholarships.
Yeah.
Let your scholarship find out that you have a judicial, that's what we call it, so like that you get in trouble with public safety, they'll take away your scholarship. real quick.
Also, if you want to be like, if you want to be in education and you get caught with alcohol, you're kicked out of the program. Like,
Yeah.
you're not welcome.
Well, that's a
back.
lot of majors. If you get
That's a lot
caught,
of
if you get
majors.
caught with any weed, which is like, I mean, nowadays kind of like, it's hit. I mean, I have my personal opinions, and I don't know what y'all do in your free time. But at the same time, it's like it's something you can't avoid. You either have a friend who smokes, or a friend is friends with friends, or a friend's parents who smoke, like professors that smoke. So it's kind of like you, anywhere you go, you don't really get away from it. But at the same time, it's not worth having because you get kicked out automatically because it's illegal. It's an illegal substance. So. I just don't be stupid. Don't be super stupid. Don't be stupid.
There's another one. My one friend, just like Lana was saying, my friends wanted to have a little party in the dorm, and she just got some alcohol to bring in, but the security was down there doing bag checks. My friend was like, I'm gonna risk it anyways. I was like, you shouldn't do that. That was a really bad idea. Put a jacket on top. It was like a box, and it was a really big bag. And she just put her jacket on top, and the security guard just went, okay, and then let her go in. Didn't even get in trouble, nobody noticed. I was like, this is insane, because that was real stupid, first of all. Second of all, I don't even know why the security guard didn't see it, because it was not covered up good at all. So, I don't know. Don't do it, though. That's a really bad idea. Also, one of my friends, this was my freshman year, when I was living in the dorms. She got an edible, so it was like a brownie. You're not supposed to eat the whole thing. She ate the whole thing. She started going a little crazy, saying like, I can't control myself. I feel like I'm not stable. Like she was going real crazy. So she called an ambulance for herself and got taken out of the dorm and then went to the hospital and had to get an IV. I was like, oh my God. It was like the craziest thing. We still talk about it to this day. Like my friend group, she like transferred. She doesn't even go to the school anymore. But that was one of the craziest things I've ever experienced. And some of these college students find crazy ways to do stuff that they're not supposed to do in there. Like, I don't think if you,
A lot.
yeah.
You're gonna see some things that you like think is just in the movies in college, but you have to be smart because
Yeah.
you risking it all
You're risking
if
it
someone
Yeah.
touches
And
you.
you guys, you just have to be smart. With me, when I was in college, I can't really say a lot of it because this is on film. I was connected to a group of girls, and we got pressured to do some stuff that I knew wasn't really the right thing to do. And I was always the good girl or the rule follower, and I just had to make a decision not to do what it was that they were trying to do. You know, people are gonna tease you, call you a lot of names, all this kind of stuff. And I just had to listen to it, and then later that night, they went ahead and did it, and they got caught. And we got investigated. So guess who didn't get in trouble? You know, so you guys have to, with these stories that they're telling you, you have to make sure that you stand your ground or whatever you're doing, because you gotta deal with your parents, your families, and all these people if you get kicked out of
That
school.
letter goes straight to
or
your
doing
home
something
address
stupid,
too, saying
you know?
like your child has gotten investigated for this and that.
And you get kicked out of school and you still gotta pay all those loans back.
Don't be a follower.
Okay.
Yeah, literally, like, you just took my thoughts right out of my head and, like, said it out loud. Do not do things that will compromise you and your rules at all.
Because
Like,
even like the slightest things can mess you up. Like, again, my sister, she was sitting in the dorm one night and she heard a knock at the door, answered it. These two drunk boys from her dorm were going around saying hi to everybody. Yeah, that's harmless, like whatever. But they took it a little too far and like pushed the door open and started talking to her and touching her on the shoulder and stuff. Looked like her roommate was there and they got them out of the room, and then someone called public safety, like somewhere else in the dorm, because they were going around to everyone in the building. And they did that to a couple different people. Luckily nothing happened, but like you just gotta make sure you know who's at your door too, like because it was past a certain time, you gotta be careful like with like who you drink with, if you drink, like all of this other stuff, like it's
not still.
yeah.
I was gonna say, for a story, when did Trump come? 2 years ago?
Oh,
So Trump came to campus, to Westchester campus, like I think 2 or 3 years ago, before he was president, and he was doing a campaign. And I think this was like one of the very first times that I saw like everybody in our campus, whether you be Black, Asian, Latino, gay, anybody come together, because at one side of the street it was the Trump supporters with the signs and everything. On the other side it was all of us, and it was just so I just got chills thinking about it, because if you see the pictures, it's crazy. We're really just unified, screaming at them.
And the funny thing about that is that most of the students were on the opposite side. It was people in town that were going
people in town
into
come.
Because there was a lot of even white students supporting students of color. It was just really dope, having, although the minorities on campus are small, it doesn't feel small when you're in it, just because you're constantly surrounded by each other.
And some people at the rally, even myself, I was passing out water to people and some snacks, granola bars, because we were out there for hours. There was a whole Facebook group saying okay, let's make some signs, and so someone even brought a little truck and parked it by there and was standing chanting. So it was really nice having everybody unified and standing up for what they believe in and stuff. And it was just a good experience.
So this is the cops riding their bikes on campus. I don't know if you guys can see that. So what it was.
Just pass it.
What do you mean? And then you had people writing on themselves.
Don't say that.
No, for real, it was everything. This was one of our school buildings. Professors canceled classes just to protest, whether they were on Trump's side or not, which is crazy. And this is the side of not Trump supporters. I went onto a building, and those are all the people not supporting Trump. And that's a fraction of our university. And what really hurt most is the fact that you're having a guy such as Trump come to a university that is already divided to divide us even more. I think was the biggest slap in the face there could have been. How did we get so deep? Ooh.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I have videos and stuff like that if you guys want to see it. It was pretty dope, but it was a reality check, because it's just personally I don't think cops are always out to get people. Now, are they? Some of them, yes, intentionally. Now, the ones here at the university that came out, somewhere, you could kind of pick up the vibe. But at the same time, it was just the fact that the cops were kind of coming at students and professors, which is really crazy. But it was amazing all at the same time, because it's just we're 1,000 different individuals coming together all to just crap on Trump, which was amazing. I thought. it was kind of poetic, guys.
Any more questions?
Well, thank
No.
you guys.
No.
Yeah, because we gotta go downstairs. But thank you guys so much. If you guys can give me a hand.